What we're going to do for the next 10 minutes or so is we're actually going to walk through ThirdWeb's library of contracts, but we'll talk about some more of the common ones. And Marketplace, we're also going to take some time to configure a Marketplace real quick. So let's jump into ThirdWeb. So I'm already logged in to my account here. I'm going to hop over to contracts. So these are different contracts that I've either imported or launched, and you don't need to pay money to get this far. You can set up an account on ThirdWeb and start importing any contracts. I've been using ThirdWeb for about 3 years, and I initially started using it for the examination of smart contracts. So you could just sign up, import a contract, and then read all the code, and even think about interacting with the contract from ThirdWeb itself. So if you were to want to launch a smart contract, you click on deploy contract, and then here's where you can see a list of popular contracts. Ahmed talked about some of these in the first session, right? Like NFT drop, releasing a collection of unique NFTs. These are all 721s for a set price. This is where we're going to go today. And account factory is what I mentioned earlier about the ability to set up a contract that will deploy smart wallets for your users. This is the ERC 677, where you can deploy a contract that will be burn-in capable to burn and mint tokens. Then we start getting to the modular contracts. And the interesting thing about modularity is that you can start off with one contract type and then build on top of that. So these are customizable and upgradable in nature. So you could have a 721 NFT drop, but you would not, if you plan on upgrading it, you would pick the modular drop over the regular drop, right? So these are also cool things that ThirdWeb offers in terms of smart contracts. It allows they're aware that you might want to have modularity and upgradability in your contracts, right? So let's get in. Before we go into actually clicking into marketplaces, let's just talk about these last two here, right? Tokens, you could actually launch your own token here. You can deploy ERC20, and the key thing I want to highlight is that it's not hard to create a token. What's the important thing to understand is the value preservation in the token, right? And listing it on exchanges or these decentralized exchanges. That's where all of the hard work comes into play. But if you plan to launch a token for you and your community or you and your friends to trade value around, right? If you want to launch if we were to launch an Ampere token, and 5 Ampere token gets you a 30-minute session with one of the instructors, that's our rules that we set for this ecosystem, and that's totally fine. So you can launch a token that allows you to do that. But we're going to go ahead and jump into building a marketplace. So I'm going to create this marketplace, call it Ampere Market, right? EM. I'm going to call this EM EMART, right? That's going to be a symbol. And let's go grab an image, right? And this now specifies that if anything is sold on the marketplace, I get the fees from that. And we can choose. ThirdWeb has the ability to choose from a number of chains. We're going to stick to base, right? Because of the lower gas fees. So I'm going to deploy, and this is how quick it is to build a marketplace using ThirdWeb. In a couple of minutes, I will have the contract to do this. And then all I have to do is start listing items. So while that is going, I'm just going to go here and get a test iframe site. This is where I'm just going to quickly show you guys what it looks like down here. Okay, so let's go back. So the contract is set up, right? The marketplace is ready to be, you have basically a store now, right? In Web3 context, I've just created the store. Ampere Market. Now we have to put products in our store. So I mentioned English auctions, right? So you could create an English auction. So you can list an NFT that's going to be that's going to be biddable, right? And you can set the initial price, or you can just select, or you can build the store with direct listings, which are items that are one price only, buy at that price. So I'm going to go ahead and create a direct listing. So what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead directly to items that are in my wallet that's already connected. And it's going to ask me if I would like to list any of these in the marketplace. So if you think about this, right? If you yourself have NFTs and you want to develop a marketplace to off-ramp them, this proves that you don't need OpenSea, right? You can build the marketplace for yourself to off-ramp, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to list this NFT. So this is a base name, right? So this is an NFT that represents a on-chain ID. So I'm going to list this one here, and I'm going to create this listing for that, and I'm going to be able to sell that NFT to somebody who wants to visit my marketplace and potentially buy it. Oh, I think I've listed that one before, so let me list this one actually. Okay, so now it's listed, right? You can see this token here is in my contracts listing. And if I go and grab, this is another benefit of utilizing ThirdWeb, is that it has the embed code. So I can go ahead and grab this iframe. And if you don't want to build too much from scratch, you have the embed code here that you can embed into a standard website page. And I'm going to do that right here. And then showcase in this window here what happens when I do that. So essentially the metadata isn't loading. That's the only part that doesn't work, right? So this metadata with that NFT, there isn't a art piece, right? So it's an ID, it's an on-chain ID, right? It was the dripnail.ens name, I believe. So this token has, when someone buys it, they can purchase that name, but you can list anything. But you could essentially publish this now and have your audience come and buy and sell this token. And now you can even customize it further, where if we're going back to the example about utilizing a custom token, you can set this marketplace for this specific asset that it needs to be purchased with Ampere coin, right? So these are just the different things, but in a very short amount of time, I was able to spin up a marketplace where I can go back here and I can list another NFT, and you would see it appear next to this one. So right now there's only one available NFT that's up for listing, but you can list the whole market of items that people can purchase.